Hey STRU friends, this is your personal invitation to co-invest alongside me. If you haven't heard, I've launched Stomp Capital Short-Term Rental Opportunities Fund, where I will be personally investing all of my short-term rentals going forward. And if you're an accredited investor and you want instant diversification and you want to participate in the best ideas that I identify, you relate to all of my teachings and the uniqueness and the sense of place and all of that stuff, then please click on the description below and find out more about Stomp Capital short-term rental opportunities. The best is yet to come and we're literally getting started. I would love to have you alongside, so let's go. Hey YouTube, what's happening? It's Richard, founder of STRU and professional real estate investor. And today's video is something that I've been doing every year. It's 2022, my top 7 predictions of what I think is going to happen in 2022 or perhaps shortly thereafter. I have no crystal ball, but I do have a very good pulse on what's happening in Airbnb and short-term rentals and how people are traveling and moving around in real estate investing. So here are some things that I think are actually likely going to happen. So without further ado, here are my top 7 predictions for 2022 in the short-term rental space. Let's get started. The number one thing that holds people back from investing in the short-term rental space is regulatory risk. We hear every day that there's a different community and they're taking a vote and they're kind of thinking about this and they're putting in regulations, and regulatory risk is very real, and I don't recommend that you take that risk. Said differently, do all of your due diligence in advance of purchasing any location. And by the way, the absence of law does not make it lawful. Let me repeat that again, because this is critically important and I don't want to see you lose hard-earned income and make a terrible investment. The absence of law does not make it lawful. It just means it has yet to be regulated. So we look for places that are regulated already, and we like to see places that have tax on top of it, because then the community is dependent on the lodging, overnight, short-term rental, Airbnb revenue to provide lighting and in the public highways and schools and all the other things. So the first prediction is we will see a major reversal. I don't know if it's a big town, a big city, a big county, but there will be a reversal from a community that had short-term rentals legalized, then went backwards and backstepped and said, oh, hey, we don't really like it, and they shut off that tax spigot, and then they came to their senses and said, well, you know what? Actually, let's make it lawful, but let's make intelligent safety, health, fire, considerations and a way to make it so that it's actually safe and a good positive thing for the community. So number one, there will be a major reversal from a city or a county or a town that was legal, then went illegal, and is now back to legal. And I think that will be a future trend. We'll see more and more of those counties and domiciles and locations start to do similar things going forward. So that's prediction number 1. Prediction number 2, the rate of growth of the short-term rental space is going to increase at an increasing rate. For the mathematicians in the audience, we're talking about a positive slope. So the rate of acceleration is only going to increase. Brian Chesky has said that he has demands for millions of more hosts.
And we've just done a global host campaign, a global ad campaign called Made Possible by Host, which is not just a way to promote more people traveling on Airbnb, but I think it's going to work really well to attract more people to become hosts on Airbnb as well.
This was in 2021. Millions of more hosts have already come to the platform. There's still insatiable demand for even more hosts, more lodging, more unique experiences, and so on. And my prediction in 2022 is we are going to see the fastest growth on the platform that we've ever seen before. Number 3, and this is going to help fuel number 2, that rate of growth. I believe we will see a large name brand, recognizable institutional private equity real estate player or a hospitality company enter into the short-term rental space in a meaningful way. Heretofore, there's been rumors, there's circling, there's sniffing. I've been championing that this would occur. I believe it will occur in 2022. Every single day, I'm hearing more and more people looking, sniffing, questioning, consulting, buying, looking. I believe 2022, we're going to have a very recognizable, very significant major player make a major announcement as they start to invest in the short-term rental space, and that will open up the floodgates, because once that first mover takes advantage of the high earnings and the incredible demand and returns that we don't see in any other space in the real estate investing universe, I believe that will open the doors for other people and they too will invest. So that's prediction number 3. Prediction number 4, we are going to see an entire ecosystem built around the short-term rental platform and Airbnb. And we've already seen a bunch of SaaS companies coming out with different sort of data like AirDNA, and we see platforms that are hosting websites like Guesty and Hostfully and Cloudbeds and so on and so forth, dynamic pricing like Beyond Pricing and Price Labs. So there's already a lot of activity, but I'm talking about now new entrants into the space with new business models. I got served an Instagram ad just before I made this video, which helped prompt this prediction number 4. It's called Nectar, and basically what they're doing is what's known as factoring. It's available in credit card receivables, and now it's coming to short-term rental investing as well. So you can literally show them your earnings, or perhaps they even just use AirDNA projected earnings, and they will give you an advance on your future earnings, just like factoring companies do on your future credit card receivables. So there's all sorts of now financial engineering, all sorts of tranching, all sorts of liquidity, all sorts of ancillary, all sorts of SaaS, all sorts of new businesses, new entrants coming into this ecosystem, and I predict it will be huge, and 2022 is going to be some of the fastest we've ever seen. This ecosystem will be worth billions, tens of billions of dollars in 2022 alone. Number 5, I believe that we are going to see an announcement of a developer doing kind of what we're doing at the Edge Camp Sporting Club, where we're developing an entire community for short-term rentals. Now the difference here is we are building to short-term rent at Edge Camp Sporting Club. I believe we're going to start to see custom-built, purpose-built short-term rental communities that are sold to hosts and entrepreneurs and investors that want to invest in the short-term rental space. Big communities, really exciting communities, forward-thinking communities, forward-thinking investors, and guests flocking to these communities. And the prediction is these communities are going to trade at a premium, as well they should due to their earning potential, versus the community directly across the street, across the way, across the county line where short-term rentals are illegal. We're finally going to start to see the value of short-term rentals being discovered through this custom-made community. Number 6, and this one's really important, and this one doesn't feel good. Everything else I said is about feel good and it's great growth and great opportunity. But number 6 might be the most important one if this is part of you, and I'm going to film another video. It's so important. I believe that the middle market in the short-term rental space is going to get squeezed. So there's the low end, and then there's the super high end. I tend to play in the high end, and then there's everybody in between. There's going to be so many new entrants in that in-between space that they are going to start to compete on price. Profitability is going to go down. Competition is going to go up. It's the exact wrong place. That is not where you want to be. You want to have a unique, differentiated location, architecture, art, view, waterfront, beachfront, glamping, whatever it is, but it's got to be different and unique. And if you just have a very generic condo, very generic apartment, very generic home in the middle of a subdivision, and there's 100 others, I think in 2022, of those 100, 50, 70, 90 of them could go live and be your competitors. So what's working today will not work in the future. I've been saying that for years, but this is the year to take it seriously. And here's the good news. So that doesn't feel good. And if I'm speaking to you, I want you to feel a little bit of that anxiety and pain, because I'm trying very, very much to help you alleviate a concern, alleviate a problem, miss a loss. And here's the good news. It's a remarkable market to sell. So to the extent that you have a not so unique or a kind of generic, plain vanilla Airbnb or short-term rental that's done really well historically, but you're listening to what it is that I'm teaching and you kind of believe me, it resonates a little bit. Maybe you've seen some of that price competition. Maybe you've seen the number of bookings going down. Maybe you've seen your profitability stagnate and then start to slow down. You can 1031, tax defer, sell. It's a seller's market. Almost every single market on the planet right now is at all-time highs. So there is no better time to sell, and you can 1031 so you don't even pay taxes and go buy a unique Airbnb, a unique short-term rental that has a very long runway so you can take advantage of the massive opportunities going forward. So please Take action, heed caution. I'm gonna make a whole nother video about this. I hope for everybody's sake that I'm wrong, but I don't wanna be the guy who's out here championing and telling everybody how great Airbnb is and the future of short-term rentals and not understand what's happening there in the middle just because I don't play in it. That's the worst place to be. You have to take action. It's a seller's market, so please protect yourself and your investment. Number 7, and this one, it just makes all the sense in the world. I haven't even read about it. I haven't seen it. I haven't done anything. It just sort of popped into my mind as I was thinking about my short-term rental business. I believe Airbnb and Vrbo will start to monetize via paid advertising. So what does that mean? That means that if I, Richard, want to promote Edge Camp Sporting Club to show up on page 1, I will be able to pay for placement. How do I know? Well, think of everything else. Sponsored ads on Facebook, sponsored ads on display networks, Google, sponsored ads just about everywhere. So it's very common for platforms to monetize their audience by selling them the ability to rank higher and be shown on the first page. And why is that so important? I think they could make more money on advertising, just like Google does, than their core business. And furthermore, do I think people will pay? I know a guy who would pay for first place, like ranking, absolutely. And would I pay a lot or a little? Well, we're renting short-term rentals out at $6,000 a night. So if I get one more booking, it's worth an awful lot to me. And I'm not the only one. And as institutional capital comes in, I don't remember what prediction that was, I think it was 3 or 4, they've got deep pockets. So this advertising model, which I've heard nothing about, but I'm confident will occur. So this is huge bucks for Airbnb, for Vrbo. I would pay huge bucks. And if I'm correct that institutional players enter, I think that was prediction number 3 or 4, they have hugely deep pockets. So if they can like juice their returns and get more bookings and higher bookings and more visibility and so on, you better believe they'll pay to play. There's absolutely no doubt about it. So that's my 7th prediction. And now I want to share with you what the implications are for you and me. Although I might pay to advertise and maybe you'd pay to advertise, but that means that there's even more competition, right? It's like specific to the location. I could say I want this geo target area, this geography, this county, this zip code, this activity, because now more and more people are traveling and they're focused on less like the location and more what it is that they want to do. So this means that there could be even more competition at an increasing rate. Now, I don't want to fear, I don't want anybody to be scared. That's not my point, but I'm here educating, and I have been for 5 years, and sharing the virtues and the positivity about the short-term rental space. And as an asset class matures, there's new entrants, there's new opportunities, there's also new risks. And I need to share that all with you, or I would be doing you a disservice if all I did was cheerlead and cheerlead and cheerlead. To be perfectly direct, I think the opportunity set has never been any better. I've never been more fully invested. I've never been more excited about some of the things that we're adding into the Stomp Capital portfolio. And I firmly believe the best is yet to come. That said, I just need to put that little asterisk there to protect some of you from what I see happening, and it's inevitable. So I hope you found this video interesting. Please comment below. What are your predictions? Which of the 7 predictions am I right about? Which of the 7 predictions am I wrong about? And as always, you must like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, friends, I mean, I don't even know what to think about that. So please do yourself a favor. We're just getting started with some incredible content. We're back. Here we are in Jackson, and we're filming, and we've got more content. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's go.